Hey guys, this is a rant. This is to somebody that's important, and if it makes sense, if it touches you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Whatever. It's not about any specific topic. So I told a friend of mine we're talking about some things, and I said that he probably should make a video to his children, in case anything ever happened to him, in case he was to, pass away or whatever. He just tried to call him a minute ago, and we were talking about my mom died when I was 13. Chris Benoit uh, committed suicide and left his that was a tragic situation for his family. And I was watching all these videos about wrestling and stuff, like old stuff. And they had a interview with his son, the one that wasn't there when he started killing all of them. And he said that if he's a wrestler, if he was ever get into WWE, make it big, he would want to do the same thing as his dad. His outfit, his ring outfit was like his dad. He's already got the boots and everything. He said he would want to have the same move, the same crippler crossface, all that. And I thought that was just crazy that this individual that done so much damage, this individual that went on a rampage and killed your mom and killed your brother for simply no provocation at all, and then committed suicide. Um, why you would want to then imitate him? I get it. There will never be a true account of what happened in the house prior to the events took place. We will never know the true story. We will never know what really set Chris off. We will never know. There will never be a true final chapter to that story, a closing of the book. That will never happen. We don't know. Was it roid rage? Did him and his wife fight? I don't know. I can say that it's kind of like the whole Michael Jackson thing. These were moments that defined my childhood. Just kind of realizing that the world is a very cold, ugly place, and that there are some very cold, ugly people out here who uh, are really soulless and really can do a lot of damage with little or no warning. And for a 13-year-old, for a 12-year-old, that's a little scary. It's a little scary. It could be a little scary. Um, and that was kind of my wake up. Those were kind of my wake up, growing up, realizing that, I watched the Michael Jackson documentary with my mom when I was a kid, and him getting them boys drunk and all that type of stuff. That wasn't. Not getting into that. Not getting into that. So I realized that Chris Benoit's son was deprived of his dad. And no matter what the world says his dad was, no matter what I say his dad was, that's still his father. And I'm sure he had some good memories. I'm sure he had some good times. I'm sure he got good memories now of, laughing with his dad and going on trips. And I'm sure there's some things that, that jokes, kidding around with his dad. But because he was deprived of his father, he will never truly have the full measure of his father, just like I wouldn't have had a full measure of mom. So much of it is just in pictures and what other people told me about her and things I remember because she died when I was so young. I remember the last conversation me and her had, of she didn't want me to go off and, have a baby, engage in premarital sex because, that when you're black, it's already a strike against you. And for you to have a kid at a young age with no, it's young age that puts you behind. And she knew that, and she was raising me to make good decisions and to walk forward and to move forward. And I was raised to understand that white people are going to try to set you up, not dwelling on it, but that like all the OJ shit and like when they try to say, Kobe with the white girl and Michael Jordan with the prostitute. That's going to happen. If you're a black man in this world and you're making something and you're moving forward, they're going to try to set you up. And you have to expect that if you're going to do something in this world, and you can't sit around and do, oh, white people, no. You got to accept that, brother. You got to expect, guess what? When you go to that girl's house, somebody may follow you over there and take your license plate number down. When you do this, when you think nobody's watching, somebody may be watching. There may be a camera. Not being paranoid, not to take to the extremes, but to understand as a black man in this world, there's certain people that do not want to see you make it. So you got to make good decisions. Not to dwell on it, not to be scared, not to live in fear, but to act uprightly, to walk uprightly, to act with prudence, to make a plan before you do things, and to make sure you got good people around you. That's how I was raised. I like to believe that I still live that way. Got off subject. The point of this video is just to the kids, to the young people out there. I give my apologies. You're coming up in a very different world than I was raised in. And I'm not getting into the Trump stuff. This is not a political video. I know you've heard this before. Everyone's talked about this before, but there weren't mass shootings going on every day when I was a kid. All this Karen stuff, that wasn't going on when I was a kid. Not, and people say, oh, there's more videos now. No, it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. This is different. This is a different era, and I have to acknowledge that. This is a very different time. There's a study done years ago. I remember talking about as climate change gets worse, saying like spiders, other animals are more aggressive because of climate change, and that's to me what white people are. That they're losing their spaces, and that's why you get called. The police called on you and things like that. It's what it is. I get it. They're losing, and even if it's just 1% a year, even if it's 1% every 1% in the last decade, they're still losing, and they know it. And the things they get screamed about 20 years ago don't have the same oomph, don't have the same pop. And so I mean, this climate change, the violence, the mass shootings, the political violence. It's weird because Republicans will talk about how, the culture is so sexualized and all that. Maybe got a point on that. And there's so much violence out here. And I would say the Republicans have a hand in the political violence as well. I'm not sure you could have talked about, I'm going to blow up Georgia 20 years ago. And I'm not sure you could have used the language Sidney Powell used, and people would have just sat back and, I'm not sure. I don't think that would have been accepted. Bush did a lot of dumb shit. It's understanding. Bush did a lot of dumb shit, but I think we're in a different era. And to the kids, I really my sympathies every day. I mean, and the people having kids, friends of mine have children. I say I don't think y'all are following climate change science. Respectfully, no hate, but I don't think you're paying attention. My brother talked about how, and all of them know it's real. It's not like the white folks are just saying this stuff's not real. No, they believe it's real. It's just, this is going to happen in 20 years or 30 years. This is going to happen down the road. It's not going to be that bad. They're going to do something about it. No. This is climate change, the flooding, and all this type of stuff, and it's going to create famines. It's going to create violence, and I don't mean to be a doomer. I think I've gotten a lot better at that over the last few months. I try not to be so negative, or I try at least to not put out so much negative content. I understand. I don't want to be that guy. Doesn't matter what y'all think. Doesn't matter what my viewers think. I don't want to be always repping negative content. This is not doomer porn. But I'm going to put out reality too. And the reality is not good for civilization. It's not good for average people. If you're I'd really caution parents. I would really say to the people coming up, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. I mean, I wanted to do some tourist stuff and travel and all that, and it's just every day is something new. I mean, we had this stuff during Ebola. The dude and his wife down there, was it Fiji or whatever, got sick, and they were gonna they couldn't bring the bodies back, and they were talking about they had something like a flesh eating bacteria, and the dude had been like an Air Force officer, and his wife was like a marathon runner or some shit, and they got sick. I mean, they died quick, and we never really got a full account of that. They said they were gonna bring the bodies back, and they looked in there and they were like, "Nah, they couldn't bring them. They I guess they cremated, had them cremated." Um, I don't know. I just feel like for the people coming up, this is it's kind of sad because we should always want a better world for our children. We should always want a better civilization to hand down something better. A world that's moved beyond war, or we moved a little bit further beyond war, beyond mutually assured destruction. I mean, I look at those things now, and it's sad that we're using this antiquated terminology from 50, 60 years ago, from the Cold War, of, well, we'll just blow each other up, so you won't blow me up because I'll blow you up. Like that's then we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't gone anywhere socially. We haven't gone anywhere culturally. That's sad. That as the technology advances, we're just going precipitously further out on that ledge. We're going further out on that ledge of destruction, and that's sad. You should want a better world for your children, not a more dangerous world. And I don't know. I just that saddens me sometimes to think about that. That I don't. It wasn't like this when I was a kid. Like I said, the mass shootings and the bomb. I mean, you had Kaczynski, but that was something else. That wasn't political. To be fair, that wasn't political. That was, even Eric Rudolph and all that. Those were lone wolves. Those were people who felt a certain way. Rudolph was ex-military. He'd been in the Gulf War. He was going to do Green Beret stuff. He fell out of it. That was all lone wolves. To have a president openly speak to these groups, it's very sad to me. It's very sad that a president can't understand, or at least openly purports to not understand what these groups are. Sessions didn't know what these groups were. It's very sad. It's one thing to be stupid, but to be at that level of government and to just not know. I mean, even if you say, I'm a Nazi, I support the Nazis, that's one thing. But to be like this and not know what these groups are, that's quite disturbing. It's disturbing, and as I get older, I understand that everything's based on precedence, and that if they can push the precedent of, we don't know about these groups, we're not going to do anything about these groups, nothing will be done about them, then in the future, nothing will be done. You don't know about them while you're communicating with them publicly. I don't know. I don't mean to dwell on that. I just, my heart goes out to the young people, and it's kind of sad. Kind of sad to see that. It's good to see people. As time goes on, the young Christians, they're not so hot for Israel. You don't have this, whatever they want, you don't have that. That's dying off. That's dying off, thankfully. You see a lot of people that acknowledge climate change, and that's just because of reality. As I've talked about it, you don't have white supremacy for everybody like you did at one time. And so if you have white folks that are on the bottom that are working out here with the others, and they're dealing with this strange weather and all that. See, so much of climate change denial comes from, so much of Republican politics, period, comes from, we don't care. That's what I realize now, is that Republican politics isn't based upon like I can prove this is A or prove this is B. It's based upon that doesn't affect me. I don't know any gay people, so I don't care about gay marriage. I don't know any Jews. I don't care about Jews. That is so much of Republican politics that until someone they know is like, yeah, I'm gay. You know, my son is gay. Until then, they don't get it. They don't care. There is a coldness there. And that's the politics thereof. It is of, uh, do not hear, do not see. I don't see it. It's not there. I don't see it. That's it. Um, I don't know. I did this videos to somebody, and if it touches somebody else, hopefully it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. God bless you. Have a good one.